Really, I thought it was dollars.
Yeah, see, I know. This is here. It's really sweet.
The technology of a sailing ship. That ship was 1,900 tons, 243 feet long. And in one day, this was a record, she had covered 424 nautical miles in a 24-hour period. That was an average of 19.7 knots, sail only. I mean, they were amazing, amazing vessels. She's in 120 feet of water, 12 miles offshore. Matter of fact, we camera it every chance. We keep a very close eye on them. Cameraing it day before yesterday, and a lot of it is unburied. The Staffordshire is on a flat bottom, so a lot of the silt will bury, and then you get a hurricane or a big wind or a lot of tide, and it'll unbury. So it's very interesting to see the things. There's a slate pile there, 137 ton of slate. There's probably, I'm gonna guess, 100, maybe 200 ton of brass. It's sheet brass. They used to use it for to do the bottom of the ships, very thin, just to protect the ships from the shipworms. The pottery down there, most is broke, of course. I mean, the stuff is just, it's just incredible when you dive on these ships, what you're seeing. A little bit about her construction. I mean, those ships were, well, first of all, she was a sister ship to the Flying Cloud. I'm sure some people have heard of the Flying Cloud. The Flying Cloud was launched in June, and the Staffordshire was launched in July of 1851. She was brand new. She was only 3 years old. The construction was incredible. Donald McKay had designed a lot of steam-powered lifting mechanisms, if you would, which allowed him to build bigger ships all the time, because the timbers were so big that it was virtually impossible to handle everything by hand and just block and tackle. It was just too slow. So he invented a lot of mechanisms along with steam power. For an example, in the Great House, they had 40-foot mahogany beams, 16-inch square, 40-foot mahogany beams. Just to lift something like that would be just incredible to see. And in the great room, what they call the great room, she had a Staffordshire is at that time was where all the kilns were to fire the dishes. And at that time there was over 4,000 large kilns in Staffordshire, England, and bordering towns like Burslem and those places. And in the great room, she had a scene of Staffordshire, the city itself, with all the kilns, and it was all gilded in gold. That just goes to show you, like, the extravagance and the workmanship that was put in these ships. Just incredible. Large loss of life on the Staffordshire, 187 lost souls. So it was, it's quite something to dive on, that's for sure. Something you don't forget. What else? Maxie has a list of shipwrecks that I believe Chris had mentioned, that there was 150 shipwrecks on Seal Island, and we have a list that was given to us by Joey Smith, which would have been Winifred's grandson. and there's 147 wrecks. These are her personal records. So 147 wrecks on Seal Island and the surrounding shoals, Devil's Limb, Blonde Rock, even as far in as the Mud Islands and the surrounding area. The Staffordshire is on there. The Staffordshire is about 10 miles east of Seal Island. The SA was 10 miles south of Seal Island, straight offshore. So like I was saying, these dives, they're not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. You have to keep your mind on what you're doing and not looking around for sharks or whatnot. You can't be thinking about that stuff. So anyhow, that's concludes it for me, and I hope you've enjoyed. Hope you've enjoyed my hobby that I have a great passion for. Thank you very much.
I just want to say a quick word. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been a wonderful turnout. We're really happy you're here.
Thanks.
Thank you to the Cape Sable Historical Society. For those of you who aren't members, I suggest that you become members. It's a wonderful source for local heritage and history. And I'd just like to say that, you know, first of all, we saw the demonstration that it was a very treacherous bit of rock for mariners and a lot of loss of life, a lot of wrecks. And that so many were saved because of the dream of Mary Hitchens. And she started the light. As we go out on dumping day, that will be the anniversary when the light was first lit 193 years ago. And that light is about to go out forever unless we do something. If we do absolutely nothing, it will rot to the ground. So I would also suggest, if you'd like to get involved, there's also the Seal Island Seal Island Lighthouse Preservation Society. And our president is Sonia Newell. Sonia, you want to stand up? You can find us on Facebook, and you can certainly get in touch with Sonia. We'd love to have you join. But again, this is our moment of truth. The Coast Guard are looking at putting up a tower and letting Seal Island Lighthouse die. So if you want to keep the life lit, this is your chance to do something. You all have, a lot of you have the handouts. There's QR codes you can scan with your telephones. There's a petition, we've got over 11,000 signatures. And there's also a letter writing campaign where you go to that particular website, put your name and address, and you'll be sending a letter to I think about 8 or 9 people who are decision makers for the Lighthouse. It is a heritage property. It is supposed to be maintained, but that's the decision. So anyway, think about that. And again, thank you for coming. And thank you for all our speakers. Wonderful evening. Thank you. Oh, and please take all the treats with you. We can't leave it behind.